Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to connect the dots between those big international headlines you're seeing and, well, your daily life. We're looking at how a conflict that's happening thousands of miles away is having a direct impact right here at home.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. You've almost certainly seen it, or maybe you've felt it yourself. Those really long lines for cooking gas cylinders, all the anxious chatter about fuel prices. It all seems like it came out of nowhere, right? But the story actually starts far, far from our shores.
And this is the first domino to fall. A war in Iran has effectively shut down one of the most important shipping lanes for oil and gas on the entire planet. And according to a recent monthly review from the government's own Department of Economic Affairs, the chain reaction from this one event has now officially reached our economy.
So to really get this, we have to look at the immediate impact. The very first and most direct hit from the closure of that strait is on India's energy supply. The lifeblood of our economy. Now, this really breaks down the two sides of the crisis. On one hand, you have crude oil and natural gas. Sure, we can technically find other places to buy from, but it's going to cost a lot more and it's going to take time. But the LPG situation, that's way more severe. It's hitting kitchens so hard that some restaurants have reportedly resorted to using wood-fired stoves. And even if you manage to book a cylinder, people are saying they're waiting up to 10 days for a delivery that used to take just one. It's a huge disruption.
Okay, now let's see how this thing builds. Because when you choke the energy supply, you can bet the very next thing to feel the pain is our industrial sector.
And this just perfectly illustrates that chain reaction. It's so clear. You follow the steps. The energy crisis leads directly to a scarcity of raw materials. See, the government's report points out that when our refineries are ordered to produce more cooking gas, they produce fewer of the other petrochemicals that factories need. This forces production to slow down, and that impacts everyone, from the smallest businesses to major industrial plants.
Wow, this chart really puts our dependency into perspective, doesn't it? A staggering 80% of our ammonia and sulfur, which are absolutely essential for making fertilizers, come from the Gulf region. Think about that. This isn't just an industrial problem anymore. It poses a direct risk to our upcoming Rabi agricultural season, our main winter crop. And the official government report is crystal clear on this. It lists all these sectors where production is being directly hit. In fact, it explicitly says that some small and medium businesses and factories, especially in things like glass and ceramics that need constant fuel, have actually had to temporarily shut down their operations.
So as that industrial engine starts to sputter, the tremors are, well, inevitably felt across the entire national economy. Let's take a look at the hard numbers and what the experts are now saying. This assessment, this is from Axis Bank's chief economist. It basically sets a terrifying deadline. We are on a ticking clock. That cheaper oil we had in reserve, it's running out. And once we're forced to buy on the expensive open market, widespread inflation is pretty much the next logical step.
And here's the big picture impact. The investment firm Goldman Sachs has already revised India's GDP growth forecast way down, from a really healthy 7% to 5.9%. We're talking about more than a full percentage point of our economic growth just potentially wiped out by this one crisis.
This staggering number? Yeah, that's the drop in the Sensex in just one day of trading, as the market reacted to all this. Crores and crores of investor wealth just vanished as confidence plummeted.
And that is the psychological barrier the Indian rupee crashed right through against the US dollar. I mean, before the war, it was at 91. This sharp fall shows a really severe lack of confidence, and it's been driven by foreign investors who have sold off over 1,27,000 crore rupees worth of shares.
And this isn't just some outside analysis, okay? This is a direct quote from the government of India's own chief economic advisor. He's confirming that this is a multi-pronged attack on our economy. Supply disruptions, higher costs, and maybe even a drop in the money sent home by Indians who are working in the Gulf.
So, we've traced these ripples all the way from energy to industry to the whole national economy. But the final, and let's be honest, maybe the most important ripple is the one that reaches your front door, the one that hits your wallet. So, what does all this actually mean for you? This table really lays it out with stark clarity. Reports are suggesting that oil companies are currently losing 25 to 30 rupees on every single liter of fuel they sell. That loss is just not sustainable. A price hike is seen as almost inevitable. And at the same time, building materials like steel and paint are getting more expensive. And as transport costs rise, so will the price of pretty much everything you buy. And this right here is the ultimate takeaway, and it comes directly from the government's own analysis. This isn't just about some inconvenience or higher prices. It's about jobs. The connection is direct, and it's deeply worrying. A war in the Middle East could affect job security for people right here in India.
So that is the final crucial question that we're all left with. As these ripples from a distant conflict just keep spreading, the preparedness of our economy, and yeah, our own households, is really going to be tested. Thanks for joining this explainer.